Welcome back, everyone, to the Gold IRA Blueprint podcast. We're going to be taking a deep dive today into how a gold IRA can be a powerful tool, especially to protect your wealth as you head into retirement.
And we're going to be extracting the most valuable nuggets of knowledge from all the materials that you sent in.
Yeah, think of it as like your personal guide to understanding all the ins and outs of gold IRAs. We're going to uncover the key benefits, address some common misconceptions, and hopefully equip you with the knowledge you need to make informed decisions about your financial future.
Absolutely. And to make things even easier for you, we've got a special resource. It's a free checklist that you can find at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. And this checklist can help you choose the right gold IRA company for you.
Exactly. We want you to feel confident and empowered as you explore the world of gold IRAs. So let's jump right in to the heart of the matter. Um, the idea of using a gold IRA trust to help safeguard your hard-earned savings, especially if you're in that, $500,000 plus net worth range. You've likely spent years building a diverse portfolio, stocks, bonds, maybe even real estate.
And you're smart to think about diversification. But what's often overlooked is the potential of a gold IRA to act as a hedge against the uncertainties of traditional markets.
So it's not just about adding another asset class. It's about adding a different kind of asset altogether, one that has unique properties and behaves differently in certain economic conditions.
Exactly, and that's where gold's historical role as a store of value comes into play. Unlike paper currency, which can be printed endlessly and lose value due to inflation, gold is a finite resource. Its scarcity, coupled with its enduring demand, throughout history makes it a potential safe haven during times of economic turbulence.
Okay, so let's get specific. You've mentioned protection against inflation a few times now. I know inflation is a big concern for retirees, especially with prices seemingly going up everywhere these days. Can you explain how a gold IRA can actually help me maintain my purchasing power as I head into retirement?
Sure, so think about it this way. When the cost of goods and services rises, the value of your dollar decreases. You can buy less with the same amount of money. Gold, however, tends to hold its value during inflationary periods. Historically, when the value of the dollar declines, the price of gold tends to rise.
So it's almost like a seesaw effect. One goes down, the other goes up. But wouldn't investing in assets like real estate, which also tends to appreciate in value, provide a similar benefit?
That's a great question. And yes, real estate can be a good hedge against inflation. But remember, real estate is illiquid. It takes time to sell, and its value can be influenced by local market factors. Gold, on the other hand, is more easily traded, and its value is generally more responsive to broader economic trends.
Interesting point. So it sounds like a gold IRA could offer more flexibility and liquidity, which is crucial for retirees who might need to access their funds quickly.
Precisely, and this leads us to another key benefit: wealth preservation. It's not just about protecting your purchasing power, it's also about safeguarding the value of your savings for the long haul and potentially for future generations.
That makes sense as I get closer to retirement. I definitely want to make sure my savings are secure and that I can pass on something of value to my children and grandchildren. Um, but I have to admit, I'm still a little fuzzy on what a gold IRA actually is. Is it literally a vault full of gold bars with my name on it?
Well, not quite, although the idea of a personal gold vault sounds pretty cool, right?
I'll admit it does have a certain appeal.
In reality, it's a more structured and secure process. A gold IRA is a type of retirement account that allows you to invest in physical gold as opposed to paper assets like stocks and bonds. You work with a custodian, which is typically a financial institution specializing in precious metals.
So they're the ones who actually hold the gold.
Exactly. They handle the purchase, storage, and administration of your gold investments, ensuring everything is compliant with IRS regulations. And this is where that free checklist we mentioned earlier can come in handy. It can help you evaluate potential custodians and choose one that aligns with your needs and preferences.
Right, that checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. It's like our secret weapon from navigating the gold IRA landscape. Now, I heard there are different types of gold IRAs. Can you break those down for me and explain how they differ, especially when it comes to taxes?
Of course. So when it comes to gold IRAs, you have a few options, each with its own tax implications. The most common are traditional Roth and SEP IRAs.
Okay, I'm familiar with those types of IRAs in general, but how do they apply specifically to gold?
Well, the mechanics are very similar to traditional IRAs holding stocks or bonds. With a traditional gold IRA, you contribute pre-tax dollars, meaning you get a tax deduction in the present, but pay taxes on your distributions in retirement.
So it's like delaying those taxes until later, potentially when I'm in a lower tax bracket.
Exactly now. With a Roth Gold IRA, It's the opposite. You contribute after-tax dollars, meaning no upfront deduction, but qualified withdrawals in retirement are tax-free.
So if I anticipate being in a higher tax bracket during retirement, a Roth Gold IRA could be the better option.
That's a good point to consider. And finally, there's the SEP Gold IRA, which is specifically for self-employed individuals and small business owners. It allows for higher contribution limits, giving you more flexibility in building your retirement savings.
That's really helpful to know. So we've covered the mechanics of gold IRAs, the different types, and the tax implications. But what about those common misconceptions? I've heard that gold IRAs can be really expensive. Is that true?
It's important to address that concern because it often deters people from exploring this potentially valuable tool. Yes, there are fees involved, like custodian fees and storage fees, just like any other investment, but it's crucial to compare those fees to the potential benefits and also understand the value you're getting.
So it's not just about the raw cost. It's about weighing those costs against the potential gains, right? Kind of like paying a premium for peace of mind.
Precisely. And remember, the checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive can help you break down those fees and compare different providers to ensure you're getting a fair deal.
Speaking of providers, I was just going to ask about that. How do I even go about choosing the right one? Are all gold IRA providers created equal?
That's where due diligence comes in. Unfortunately, not all providers are the same. Some are more reputable than others. You want to work with a company that has a solid track record in the industry, transparent pricing, positive customer reviews, and a commitment to excellent customer service.
I can see why that's important.
Yeah,
After all, this is my retirement nest egg we're talking about. I want to feel confident that my investments are in good hands.
absolutely. And that's why it's so important to do your research, compare different providers, and ask the right questions. Remember, this is a long-term investment, so you want to choose a partner you can trust for the long haul.
Okay, that makes sense. But let's get real for a moment. Can we see how these gold IRA concepts actually play out in real life?
Of course, I think it's helpful to see how these principles translate into tangible benefits. Let's consider a hypothetical scenario based on the materials you provided. Imagine a retiree named James who had a net worth of around $2 million. dollars. He had a diversified portfolio, but was increasingly concerned about the impact of inflation on his savings.
So he was already on the right track with diversification, but looking for an extra layer of protection, especially against rising prices.
Exactly. James had witnessed firsthand how previous periods of high inflation had eroded the value of his savings. He wanted to ensure that his retirement income wouldn't lose its purchasing power over time, so he decided to allocate a portion of his IRA to gold.
I can see why that would be appealing. Gold's historical track record as a hedge against inflation makes it an attractive option. For retirees like James, who are worried about maintaining their standard of living,
Precisely, and by diversifying his portfolio with gold, James wasn't putting all his eggs in one basket. He was strategically positioning a portion of his assets in something that has historically held its value during turbulent times.
that's a smart strategy. But what about someone who's more focused on passing wealth down to their heirs? Does a gold IRA make sense in that situation?
That's a great question, and it brings us to another case study. Let's say we have Susan, a retiree, who is passionate about ensuring her children inherit a secure financial future. She understands the importance of long-term wealth preservation and wants to shield her assets from market volatility.
So for Susan, it's not just about maintaining her own lifestyle, it's about creating a legacy for future generations.
Right, and that's where a gold IRA, particularly within a trust structure, can be incredibly powerful. By holding gold in a trust, Susan can ensure that her assets are protected and passed down to her heirs in a tax-efficient manner.
That's fascinating. So it sounds like gold IRAs can be tailored to different needs and goals, whether it's safeguarding your retirement income from inflation, preserving wealth for future generations, or simply adding an extra layer of diversification to your portfolio.
That's exactly right. But the key takeaway here is that a gold IRA isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's about understanding your individual needs, assessing your risk tolerance, and making informed decisions that align with your long-term financial goals.
I completely agree. And to help our listeners navigate this process, we always recommend checking out that free checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive. It's packed with valuable tips and insights to help you choose the right gold IRA company and make the most of this investment strategy. But before we dive into the specifics of choosing a provider, I think it's important to address one more misconception that we often hear. I've heard some folks say that gold is just a relic of the past, that it's not a relevant investment in today's modern tech-driven world. What's your take on that?
Well, it's true that gold doesn't have the flash and excitement of some high-flying tech stocks.
Mm.
You won't see gold making headlines for groundbreaking innovations or rapid growth, but that's precisely where its strength lies. Gold's value is rooted in its intrinsic properties, its scarcity, its durability, its universal acceptance as a form of wealth.
So it's more about stability and preservation than speculation and rapid growth.
Exactly. Think of gold as a ballast in your portfolio, a stabilizing force that can help counterbalance the volatility of other assets. While tech stocks might soar one day and plummet the next, gold tends to hold its ground, offering a sense of security during market swings.
That makes a lot of sense, especially for retirees who are looking to protect their hard-earned savings and can't afford to take on too much risk.
Precisely. And this brings us back to the importance of choosing the right gold IRA provider. You want a company that understands the nuances of gold as an asset class, one that can guide you through the process of setting up and managing your gold IRA, and one that prioritizes transparency and customer service.
So what are some specific things you should look for when evaluating a potential gold IRA provider? Beyond just general trustworthiness and a solid reputation, what are some red flags or green flags to watch out for?
One of the first things I'd recommend is checking their experience and expertise in the precious metals industry. How long have they been in business? What's their track record? Do they specialize solely in gold IRAs, or do they offer a broader range of investment products?
So looking for specialists, not generalists.
That's usually a good sign. It indicates they have a deep understanding of the specific regulations and nuances involved in gold IRAs. Another important factor is transparency. Do they clearly outline their fees? Are there any hidden costs? Do they provide detailed information about their storage procedures and security measures?
Transparency is crucial. It builds trust and allows me to make informed decisions. What about customer service? That's always a big one for me.
Absolutely. You want a provider that is responsive, knowledgeable, and genuinely invested in helping you achieve your retirement goals. Don't hesitate to call their customer service line and ask some questions. See how they handle your inquiries. Are they patient? Are they informative? Do they make you feel valued as a customer?
Those are great tips.
Mm.
It sounds like finding the right gold IRA provider is just as important as understanding the fundamentals
Hmm.
of gold IRAs themselves.
Couldn't agree more. And remember that free checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive can be a valuable resource in this process. It can help you organize your thoughts, prioritize your needs, and ask the right questions as you evaluate potential providers.
That checklist is like a roadmap for navigating the gold IRA landscape. It takes the guesswork out of the equation and empowers you to make informed decisions.
Exactly. It's all about empowering you to take control of your retirement savings and make choices that align with your long-term goals and aspirations.
Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the ins and outs of gold IRAs, debunked some common misconceptions, and provided some practical guidance on choosing the right provider. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with our listeners?
My final thought would be this. Don't let fear or uncertainty hold you back from exploring the potential of a gold IRA. Knowledge is power, and the more you understand about your investment options, the better equipped you'll be to make choices that align with your unique needs and aspirations.
That's a great message to end on. Remember, your retirement years should be a time of enjoyment and fulfillment, not financial worry. By taking proactive steps today, you can help ensure that your golden years are truly golden. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of gold IRAs. We hope you found it informative and empowering. And don't forget to grab that free checklist at goldirablueprint.com/exclusive to help guide you on your journey. Until next time.